right. Good morning and welcome to Tea and Conversation Live. And if you are just joining us, go ahead on and like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Go ahead on and tag a couple of them as well. I am excited, Tea and Conversation Live, and I am on with one of my really, really good friends, over 20 years here in the Tampa Bay area, and that has been doing all sorts of wonderful things. Good morning, Cal. Good to see you. Good
Good
morning.
morning, Candy. I'm so happy to be here. Grateful for the opportunity to have tea and conversation with you this Wednesday morning. Thank you for inviting me. It is an honor and a privilege. And I know that today we're having, we had to get this is our take two. So I'm just glad that you and I know each other so well. It's just fun and funny for So I'm just grateful to be here. It's a wonderful opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. Those that do not know, Cal Jackson is a certified full service professional realtor with Siven Premier Real Estate and thrives as a seller agent in the world of residential and commercial real estate. Cal has soared to the top of the industry because of his commitment to excellent customer service and client satisfaction. Cal is originally from the Bronx, where my family is from as well, in New York. He left his hometown to attend college at the American oldest HBCU, Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. During his tenure, Cal pledged Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Inc. Incorporation and earned his bachelor's degree in history. And Cal also attended Stetson University Law School and began his professional career working in corporate America. He has owned and operated several successful businesses and over 2 decades of experience in business in the Tampa Bay area. Cal has earned the admiration, respect to fellow realtors, entrepreneurs throughout the Tampa Bay area, and has cultivated a fiercely loyal customer base and client roster. And I'm sure he has. If you are looking for a professional, I mean professional, realtor with expertise to help you buy, sell, invest, Cal is the choice, the one, the perfect choice. My brother Cal Jackson. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm just so excited to have Cal on with me this
Thank
morning.
you, Candy.
And
I'm going to be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Candy, I apologize. It could very well be me, but I'm not going to blame it on me or you. I'm going to blame it on our internet service providers because I didn't really hear anything you just said, to be honest with you. It was a little in and out for me. Are you hearing me well? Let me make sure I'm being heard well.
I am hearing you well, brother. Yes, I am hearing you well.
Fantastic. For those who didn't hear, grateful for such a wonderful introduction. Thank you for sharing my bio.
Yes, yes.
And one of the things that I'm grateful for is not only the opportunity to come on with you and discuss tea and conversation, but really we've been connected for so long, as you mentioned, for over 20 years, and so it's just nice to have built a good reputation here in the Tampa Bay area and to be connected with really solid people like yourself, people who have a long-standing, well-documented history of serving the community, helping people, doing the right thing. And if my legacy is anything, I pray that it'll be that I actually stood up and did my part to serve others. And so thank you for that. Thank you for the opportunity to share whatever I can today, because I'm here to talk about real estate, Uh, and so,
Yes,
yeah, thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. We know that there's a lot going on. For one, I have to always say, we are in a new 4 year of our new president, and we want to make sure that everyone is knowledgeable on a number of things. And one of them definitely is real estate, because we know that within the next this year and going forward into the next 4 years, people will be buying property, whether it's commercial, looking for commercial property or residential property. Talk a little bit about going into how you got started in real estate, because I know that way back in 2006, 2007, when I met you, you were into real estate. You were on the radio during that time, and also had a physical business in real estate on Florida Avenue. It was the only Black owned real estate business in the Tampa Bay area that was downtown. And we brought the Black Business Bus to your location.
Yes, yes, I remember those good days. Yes, those were good days. So, my career, I'm dating myself a bit, but my career with mortgages and real estate date mortgages and real estate. Let me get my words correct here this morning. Uh, my career actually started way back in around 1993. And I was still serving in New York and New Jersey as a mortgage loan officer then. At the time that we connected in the early 2000s, I owned a company called the Equity Resource Group. I was a mortgage broker. We had agents, and I had a partner then, and we were doing lots of things here in the Tampa Bay area to serve on the mortgage lending side of the business. Since then, and for the last 6 years, I've been a professional realtor. And it's wonderful. I work for a brokerage by the name of Premier Real Estate, and I love it. I'm now a broker associate. I help people with both residential and commercial real estate sales, and I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in my years of being on both sides of the industry, helping with mortgages, helping with real estate sales and finding and closing on property. I love it. It's my passion. It's what I've done as a career for most of my career. I took a few pit stops here and there with other things like real estate. I mean, besides real estate, I've also been a Hillsborough County educator. I've also dabbled in, things, and I also was a professional DJ of all things. So I've had a lot of opportunities to be on the radio. One of the times that you were mentioning is way back when I was on WTMP. WTMP under the leadership of Dr. Glenn Sherry. He was there, and the late, great Jetty B. Wiles used to help us with our show back then. And even then, we were doing first-time home buyer seminars and helping people to be educated on the steps for home ownership, because I'm firmly committed to the idea that home ownership is a pathway to not only personal wealth, but generational wealth. And the scripture does tell us that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. And so a lot of people really have done well by investing here in the Tampa Bay area, or even if they're not into investing, they've just enjoyed the beauty of living here in Tampa with home ownership, right? They own the land, they own their property. Some people have been here long before I was, and they are still holding property that their grandparents owned or their great grandparents owned. And so we have a rich and long legacy here in the Tampa Bay area, particularly with and around property and property ownership.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Kyle, what are some of the mistakes that people make
Now, I'm not sure if you heard it.
when they
I hope you heard it.
yes, what are some of the mistakes that people make when they um, when they do buy a home. And I often say this is that um, I went to school to be a nurse. I did not go to school to be a realtor. And so when I bought my first home, uh, I was depending on my realtor to walk me through and give me the right advice in reference to buying a home. Of course, when I got my second home, the realtor that I had, she did just that. So what are some of those mistakes that people make when they're buying a home?
Um, I'm gonna ask a question. One of the biggest challenges. I don't care if you're a first time home buyer, you've owned multiple properties. You need professional guidance. I tell people it's incredibly important to hire a realtor. Um, and whether that be me, someone else, I certainly hope it'll be me, but you need someone in your corner that understands the legalities, that are looking for things that you're not looking for, right? Oftentimes, I take my customers out or I'll share property with them, and all they see are the beautiful aesthetics. Oh, look how big the kitchen is. Oh, look at the cabinets, right? And I'm looking at other things. I'm looking for the problems that you're not looking for, right? Is there hidden damage under the sink? Is there something wrong? Is the floor even? Are there signs of termites? We need to get a home inspector in here? And I often like to remind people, by the time you get to me, I'm really not even step one in the process, but I'm an important step in the process. Really, the first step is you need to get a loan officer involved. You need to go and find out, are you paying cash for this? Are you getting financing for this? Are you approved for this? How much are you approved for? Let's not go out and look at this $800,000 or $1 million house and think, oh, this is fantastic. I love this. And you're only approved for 200, 300,000. Want to set the proper expectations and get out, have something in hand that I call pre-approval. Your checkbook, you actually have money to work with. You know how much you're working with. Mm-hmm. So that's a key first step. Another first step is then, getting out with a realtor in this day and age with technology. Many people think, oh, I'll just go on Zillow. I'll just look for myself I have an app, right? And they don't understand that these apps are not providing you guidance when it comes to what you're agreeing to on a contract. They don't provide you the guidance to assure you, are you purchasing a home that is connected to city water, or are you getting one with a tank, with a septic tank? Does that matter to you? Are you in an area where you can benefit from HUD and get, or USDA? So these are things that I stay in tune with all the time. And you really want a certified full service professional realtor. The reason I use those words specifically, Candy, is because this is all I do. I sell real estate, period. And so it's an interesting thing because there are lots of people who use this as their side hustle, right? And I'm not knocking a side hustle realtor. I like them too, right? Or weekend warriors. They go out on the weekends. They're going to try to get a sale, or maybe they just want 1 or 2 sales a year to supplement their income. Fantastic. However, if you're a serious investor, if you're serious about, buying your first home, sometimes the weekend warrior doesn't work for you. You have set times. You have a job. You need somebody who's on the case when you're not. You need somebody who's available to answer your questions, whether it be early in the morning like this or night, when it's on your schedule. And so you are the qualified buyer. Mm-hmm. You're the person who really is in control of the whole thing. Nobody's moving until you move. And so you definitely want to work with someone purpose and who genuinely knows what they're talking about. So
Mhm.
I hope that answers a bit of the question. You know, I think having a good loan officer, having a good realtor, ensuring that you get a home inspection. I don't care if you're buying a brand new construction home. As they said, oh no, it's going to be brand new. I went to the builder. They're going to build it brand new. You still need a realtor. You need someone who's protecting your interest in that interaction, in that transaction. Um,
Mhm.
I still believe you need a home inspection when you're going out to purchase, whether it be a pre-existing home or a brand new construction home, because these are contractors. Sometimes they miss, sometimes they make a mistake, and you want someone reminding you that, hey, I got your back. You know, like I say I have a little commercial that runs now, Candy, and I always feel it's a little goofy, but I'm like, I got your back. But it is really that. It is genuinely you want somebody who has your back in the transaction, who's protecting
Yeah.
your interest, your money, and isn't going to just stay with you during the transaction, because I don't like those realtors either. The ones that are like, okay, we close, good luck, bye, never see you again. You know, you're going to have lots of questions even after the sale, after the
Yeah.
transaction. I'm going to continue to stay in touch with you. I'm going to make sure, hey, is everything still working in the house? Is everything going okay? Did you get your home exemption filed? You know, did you take care of the stuff that's going to make this purchase work in your favor?
Mhm. Absolutely. That reminds me, Cal, of when I bought my second home. And the realtor that I used for the second home, she and I must have gone through um, over 20 homes. And I had a couple of my girlfriends go out with me. My daughter went out with me as well. And I never forgot, um, as I continued to look for a home with her, the first two homes, she gave me so many tips on what to look for. It was in reference to the plumbing. It was, I never forget, we walked into a house and she walked around the whole entire living room that had hardwood floors. And there was a couple areas that was really weak. And I didn't, of course, the floors was absolutely beautiful to me. I walked in and I absolutely loved the floors. But when she walked around and she pointed out so many things to look for, my antennas went up. And I think that's what caused me to go through so many appointments with her, because she just gave me so many tips. Also, the roof, how important the roof was. We walk in and we see the appliances and we see the fresh paint on the walls, but we're not looking at the plumbing. And there was like the windows. She gave me a education on just the windows, how important windows and window panes and double panes, whether you live in hot areas, like Florida, Tampa, it's so hot, how important that was to save energy in the long run. The plumbing underneath the sinks, how things, I just got a complete education. So
Absolutely.
from that point forward, I started paying attention, that I wasn't so into, oh, this looks so beautiful. And how can I really utilize the space? Because a lot of times, I think people go into a home and they don't look down, over the years, how you're going to really utilize this space, or getting a whole lot of space, and they're paying for the space that they don't use at all. So I think that all of those things are important. I did have, an inspector on my home as well.
Absolutely.
When you getting ready, you're planning
I'll tell you a
to
quick. Hmm,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I was going to ask you, when you're planning, what does that planning process look like?
I'm sorry. I was going to interject one thought before because I know you were going to planning, but I was having we were a little choppy. I wasn't a little sure what you were saying. where you were going, but I did want to share a quick story with, just because it ties in with what you said about your realtor experience with the second home. So about a year ago, I took a couple out. They were relocating here to the Tampa Bay area, and they were. They weren't really sure that they want to buy a new home, that they want to buy something pre-existing. They had lots of questions. Okay. And it was interesting because they decided we're going to go pre-existing home. And they saw this home and they fell absolutely in love. This house was unquestionably, it was beautiful. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I, I said, okay, don't fall in love too quick. Let's have them inspection. Don't jump out don't jump in with the feet yet, because we don't want to buy lemon. It could be amazing just like it looks, or it could be a real problem.
Correct.
We had the home inspection done. This house needed $80,000 worth of work. Aesthetically, when you walk in, it looked like it was move-in ready. But once you started looking beyond the basics, we realized there was an infestation with bugs. The windows were barely holding on. Like literally, if I would have blown on some of the windows, they would have fell out. There were there were foundational issues. There were all kinds of problems with this house that to your naked eye, you just missed it. And I had to convince these folks, this is not the house. Do not get this house, because it was also it's what we call in the business institutional investor that was trying to sell them a house. Okay, institutional investor in novice terms, it's a big company that owns property, and they trying to sell it to mom and pop. Okay. So they have just more knowledge, how to stage it right, don't make you fall all in love. And when we came back to them and said, this property needs this much work, $80,000 worth of work, Candy. They said, okay, we'll offer them $1,500 towards the repairs. I said, this is insanity. Absolutely. I said, I can't with good conscience allow you. Do not buy this house. You're not ready for it. You don't want to undertake these problems. This ain't the house. And I will tell you, this. Why am I telling this story? This speaks to integrity, right? And having someone in this community that actually cares about the community and people in the community. There are some agents who I guarantee you, they would have said, perfect, let's sign up. Here's your paperwork. Let me get you in this house right away. Oh, you're in love? I'll submit the offer right away. Okay.
Yep.
Some people are in it for the money only. Then there are other people like myself who, like I said, I'm going to stay with you even after the sale. So I'm not going to put you in a bad position. And that's if you're looking for a realtor, you need somebody who is genuinely going to protect your interests, who cares about you beyond just a paycheck or a commission check. Okay. So I just wanted to share that before we move to the next question.
Absolutely. And even when you say that, Cal, this was another thing that my daughter and I, when we started going around to the houses, you have to sometimes play good cop, bad cop. And definitely if you're married, when you and your wife or husband or whatever are in a home, good cop, bad cop, because a lot of times the wife will fall in love. They'll fall in love with the kitchen. And that's all they see is the kitchen. And they don't see the rest of the house. So absolutely, all of those tips are great. And how to sell your home. What does that look like if you are ready and you're at the point that you want to sell your home? And even if there's like renovation tips that you want to offer the audience this morning.
Okay, so we're talking about sellers, and I'm so glad you asked that question because the question really speaks to where I stand in day to day. I'm primarily a listing agent. A listing agent is the person who you contact when you own the property ready and you're ready to sell it. Okay, I do help buyers, right? I love helping first-time buyers, but there are what are called buyers agents. They take you out to see the properties. I usually serve in that capacity after I've helped you sell your home. Okay, so in other words, if you have a house you own, you're ready to sell it, or you want to move on to something else, I'm going to sell your property first, and then I'm going to serve as your buyer's agent for the next property you're going to move into because you got to have some place to go. Okay, but when it comes to preparing a house for sale, people don't like to hear it. But I'm going to, just like I went in and on the buyer side, I was looking for all the problems. I'm coming in on the seller side, and I'm looking for all the problems you don't see because you live here every day. You think that turtle soup green bathroom looks amazing to you. Your purple and pink kitchen is the best thing that ever was, right? Your office that has more furniture and not one other thing can fit in there other than one human body is perfectly set up. This office.
Right.
But to the person walking in, this looks like clutter. They hate the color. They are not happy with the flooring. The appliances look dated, right?
Yes.
There are all kinds of issues that you need to prepare for on the sale. Even down to the color and structure of your front door. Curb appeal matters a lot. When you pull up to the house, they have either before they ever walk in, if you've ever watched even a single episode of HGTV,
Yes.
before they walk in the house, they've already decided if this is for them or not. They're looking at the neighborhood, and then they pull up. First thing they see is the house. If the grass is not cut, if the paint is not, if the house doesn't need to be painted, if there are, damage visible to the eye, they've already decided this ain't the house. We can leave. We can keep moving. Another tip, walk out your house, stay out for a couple minutes, and then walk back in. And use your nose. The first thing people notice when they walk in the house is how does it smell in here? How does it smell? Do they smell animals?
Yes.
Do they smell right? Does it smell clean and fresh? Does it smell like bakies, or does it smell like something's wrong in here? I don't like the way this house smells. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Okay? That's another part. I'm sorry, and then it really comes down to other aesthetics. If the realtor says to you, you need to prepare this house for sale, you need to stage it. It may be because your furniture is a little dated, or the space that great, or they can tell you don't argue with them. They're there to help you. They're there to make sure that the house sold and you get the maximum amount of money for your investment. Paint the house.
Yes. Yes.
Some things you may need to fix. You can't have, broken appliances with you got one burner on the stove that works, but the other burners look burnt out. Or you only have a handle on the door to open your refrigerator, but it works for you. You get by with it. These are things that are going to transfer with the home. And so you have to, I'm coming in with the mindset of what are the problems here? How do we address them and prepare this for sale? And most importantly, I know in this age of cell phones, like you and I were talking about before the show, everybody thinks they can get on this device and they know as much as me. They know I read on my Facebook group. I saw on HGTV. No. This is not your cell phone is not the professional. Hire a professional realtor to go in there. We have staging companies. We have professional help you with the cost associated with painting or fixing things, because there are things that you need to improve in order to prepare the house for a good sale so that you make the maximum amount of money, sell it. And you're going to take that equity, whatever you sold it for, you're going to make some form of a profit.
Right.
Right? And once you make that profit, you're going to hopefully put some of it in a bank, use some of it to get into your next house. I can't tell you Candy, how many people from our community, they get afraid. They bought a house and it's hallelujah. I got a house. I'm here forever. This is my forever space. I don't ever want to be anywhere else. And that's not what homeownership is all about. You can start with a starter, whether that be a condo or a townhouse. You can have a little small house, they have tiny houses. Get your foot in the game and you can move up. You can sell that, make money, move to the next one. Sell that, make money, move to the next one. Or for our seniors, there are lots of seniors who tune in, right? With our seniors, some of you don't need this 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house anymore. You got this giant house, you're paying all this money to keep it heated, to keep it cool.
Correct.
All this money for somebody to keep up the yard for you. You pay all this money to, on the taxes. You're ready to retire. You're ready to thing. Kids are grown now that want to get into larger homes. And some folks are just sitting on them, right? But I can help you to transition. Some people, it's a time in life where they would rather go to a 55+ community now. They would rather go to an assisted living facility now. But they want to go with some money, sell the house. Sell the house.
Right.
It is better to, and some people think, no, we're never selling grandma's house. This is forever. It doesn't have to be like that. In some instances, if you've got a family compound, you got acres and acres of land, you got a farm that you want to keep and people are going to keep up with it, sure, keep it. Or if you plan to keep a house and you're going to put a tenant in there and make some money and make it an asset for yourself, wonderful. But most people are just sitting in there, right? They're not doing those things. So it's perfectly fine to tune in and ask questions and ask, how do I make this work for me? I'm going to help you.
Right. And even I go back to what you were saying. That's one of the things at both of my homes at that time, and definitely the one that I have now. It's so important to keep my house painted, my yard up, my door. People don't realize how important the door looks when you pull up to a home. I remember even riding around during that time looking for a home, and the paint was important on the house. The yard was important, how much yard the house had, because you have to pay someone to do the maintenance on the yard. And how important my door was and what it looked like, because you have to even do maintenance on the door. So all of those things
Absolutely.
were so important to me when I was out there looking for a home.
And it's interesting because in addition to the aesthetics, you were looking for a home. I didn't mean to interject. I think I came in a little late while you were telling the story, but go ahead. You were out looking for a home.
No, that's okay. You go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. You were out looking for a home and you were talking about the fact that, how the doors and the paint and how you got to keep up the yard. You know how many people walk into neighborhoods and never even look up?
Yeah.
They don't look and notice that there's a tree hanging over the roof of this house, put a roof at risk, or they don't look at, wait a minute, there's the street in front of the house, and even the ground is cracked. This is an insurance risk for you.
Correct.
The number one question, they say things like, am I going to, what about insurance? I don't want to be in a flood zone. one of the things we've learned is that lots of places are now going to be considered flood zones, right? That were not formally called that before. Or, we also have seen lots of natural disasters. Thankfully, Tampa has still been under God's grace and protection. And I tell you, there are, we almost got slapped really bad. And that wasn't even a direct hit for us. This earlier, last year in 2024, so many people on the coastline took a hit with Helene, then right behind that with Milton. And, one of the things that lots of people were not prepared for was, what do I do now? What do I do? Am I selling this house? Am I able to sell a house that has sustained damage? What am I doing about my roof? What am I doing about my fence that got knocked down? You have to be prepared for these. And here's another thing. We have this beautiful thing in Tampa Bay called CBD. Many people don't understand the dynamics of dealing with homes that are where you have homeowners association. And so I tell you, there are so many pieces to this puzzle, so many things that you have to address. And I cannot stress and emphasize enough, you gotta hire a team of professionals, because this is gonna be one of the biggest purchases or one of the biggest sales of your life, right? And so you wanna make sure that your interests are genuinely protected. I always make it simple for folks. You can represent yourself in court. There are that you can go there and go defend yourself. Never a good idea. Never a good idea. Hire a professional. That's why they have lawyers. In the same vein, hire a professional realtor. You need that so that you are protected.
Absolutely. And last thing I wanna ask about. I think you may have mentioned it, but when people are out looking for a home, a condo, townhome, knowing that those extra fees, if you want to be in a HOA, and people don't know, sometimes going in a development, a area where there's an HOA and what all is involved in an HOA. I know I lived in a condo out in Temple Terrace area, and it was a HOA. And as time went on, I knew when I moved from there, wherever I was going to move next, I didn't want to be in. For me, I didn't want to be in a HOA.
So HOAs are there are pros and cons, Candy. There's some pros and cons. Let me start with the positive. I always like to start with the positive. HOAs help you from your neighbor. They're going to protect the interests of the community and ensure that there are rules. There's a place in Tampa. I won't name community, but someone has literally put the the red reflectors put on the back of a bicycle all over front of their house. They just have red reflectors, the little bicycle reflectors all over. It's an eyesore, but he's not in an HOA community. There's nothing you can do about it, right? Some people, they can paint their home with old Confederate flag on it. Nothing you can do about it. In a non-HOA community, it's their house, their property. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, there are things you can do, but that goes to a whole nother set of rules and laws and stuff like that. However, HOAs are designed to protect you. Right? They're going to make sure your grass is cut, that you paint the house every so often, that if it needs to be pressure water, you're going to clean up the roof. Or some people absolutely deplore. They hate HOAs. They hate community, and they wish that they had not gone into an HOA community. First decision is you have to decide if you're a person that wants uniformity and someone governing over properties, or do you not? And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't, do not move into an HOA them going and taking action against you. They can literally sue you, and they can start foreclosure proceedings against you. There's a in the media currently where the woman, she was an absentee landlord or absentee owner, and she was getting messages that she claimed she never received. And the HOA literally foreclosed on her house, took her house out from under her. And she's now fighting in court to go against them and so forth, but it can lead to real challenges. And so, again, you want to not only know what kind of community you're moving into,
Mm-hmm.
what the HOA rules are there more than one HOA? Because some communities in our area, it's prevalent to a single family, but hey, lots of condominiums. Thing called a condominium. You can literally pay your mortgage, your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and let's just hypothetically say your mortgage is a month, which is kind of high. Let's just leave it there. You can have an HOA, or a condo association fee that's $3,000 a month as well. So now you're paying $6,000, right? When you went in with the idea that I'm going to go and pay $3,000. I had a young agent reach out to me yesterday from Miami, and he found a great property, a condo on the golf course. And they were so excited. They were like, oh, I'm going to sell a golf course home. It's going to be great. Until they realized that the country club associated with that golf course requires you a membership fee up front of $80,000, right? And they were like, wait, I don't even play golf. Oh, well, they're not asking if you play. They're telling you because your house is on this property, you got to pay this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's in addition to a monthly membership fee. So you really do need someone who's looking at your contracts and knows what's going on with that interest again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly. I know I had my experience, and I know for me, moving forward, it definitely was not one of the things that I wanted to incur going forward. When I got my definitely my second home. So yeah. Anything else you want to add, Cal, to the conversation? Cal Jackson is on with me. He's a realtor,
So
as well.
I want to tell you, I want to just, I do. First, yes. So it's interesting. Let me just throw that you brought up a term, and I think that's important. So a broker associate I'm a real estate broker, licensed by the state of Florida, but I work with a brokerage called Siven Premier Real Estate rather than having my own brokerage company. I'm licensed in such a way that I can have my own brokerage company, but I absolutely love and adore working with my broker. Her name is Gloria Jean-Pierre. To me, the best broker in the state of Florida. She taught me everything I know. And we had both come over from a larger firm way back 5 years ago. And so if you're looking for professional real estate services, whether it be for residential or commercial, you want to buy residential property as an investor, as a new first-time home buyer, as someone who owns a home and wants to buy another, or owns a home and wants to sell their home, SivenPremier.com is the website, or KyleSellsForBay.com. You can reach that same website and get directly in touch with me. I also want to say, it's important that I acknowledge, and again, thank you, Candy. You are You've been such a lesson to me so many ways. I know we had a little technical glitchiness this morning, but I'm so grateful that you've invited me to be a weekly contributor. Because I'd love to come back on each and every week with you for as long as I possibly can, or as long as you will have me to continue this conversation. Because in 2025, this is your time. Now is your time to get in the game. You can get a property because they're coming down. Interest is still kind of creeping up, but it'll kind of balance itself out. I don't want people to miss an opportunity to purchase a home if they're ready to, or sell a home, because Florida tends to be a very transient state. People come and go. Okay, if you're leaving, you've had enough, you're like, I'm done with Florida. I'm out of here. I'm leaving this place. That's fine. We'll miss you. We love you. We'll still call. But, you can definitely still contact me to sell your property before you head out. Or if you just want to move to a different part of the state, although I say Kyle sells Tampa Bay, I'm actually licensed to serve the entire state of Florida. So while I not necessarily drive down to me, relationships with realtors and brokers all over the state. Example, I just want to give a quick shout out and send my love and support to like the people of Altadena, California. We saw what happened with those fires out there. If those folks are thinking that they're going to, now I did hear, thank goodness, I'm so proud of them. They plan to stay and rebuild and maintain their land. But some people are going to leave, right? And if they decide, you know what, I'm leaving this place, I'd like to see what Tampa's about. I'd love for those folks to call me. If you're moving from New York, Chicago, wherever, wonderful. Coming to the Tampa Bay area. I've been here for over 20 years. I really do know this area very, very well. I can help you find a property. And if you are a person who is thinking that, because I know there are the realtors watching this, right? From all over the country. I do something called referral agreements, right? So if you're moving from Florida and you say, you know what, I'm moving up to Maryland. I have great deals in Maryland I can refer you to. And they run people moving from Maryland here. The same goes for, like I mentioned, in Miami. I'm not necessarily going to Miami, but I definitely have some people who I can refer you to that will be an excellent choice to assist in protecting interest. So I hope that whatever your real estate need is, please do give me a call and continue to tune into Tea and Conversation. This episode, I wasn't my best, but I promise you each and every time I'm going to get better and better and tell you more and more, because I'm honored to be here with the legendary Candy Lowe. When I say legendary, look her up. You can Google this name. You can Google the Black Business Book Tour. You can Google who I'm sitting here with and see just how big of an opportunity it is for me to be sitting here speaking with her. So, yes, I want to say thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone that tuned in. This is our first with Cal Jackson, Siven Premier Realtor, Broker, Associate. And that is an absolute mouthful, but I'm going to get that right as time go on. So Cal will be our weekly
Candy,
contributor.
one more thing. I got to say one last thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just got to say one last thing. I don't know if I missed this part. I just realized that I was missing the comment section. And so I see that there are lots of people tuned in and checking out. So I just want to say,
yes,
good morning to everyone. Tammy Allen, I see you. Cotton, I see you. Lester and Rosalind, and I see you, Paulette and Artesia. So many people have said good morning and jumped on the live, and I didn't get a chance to say good morning. So I'm so grateful for you guys as well. Thank you for coming on and supporting the show, and of course to just join on the broadcast this particular day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for definitely acknowledging. People definitely love to hear their name.
I'm going to learn how this all works, Candy. I'm going to be ready next week.
Yes, and I know you are. I know you are. Cal Jackson will be one of our regular contributors to make sure that we are educated on this real estate broker business that's going forward in 2025, and making sure that we are educated and knowledgeable going forward. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you're watching at a later time, make sure that you comment in our comment section, and I look forward to our next 10 conversation with Kyle Jackson. Thank you so much, Kyle.
Cheers.